Let's say you are playing a song you like, or maybe writing your own, and you have a good solid chord progression that you've landed on. It sounds good, but falls a little flat in energy, or just feels like it's missing something. So you want to figure out a way to add just a little bit of flavor. This is where secondary dominants come in and get you what you're looking for. Before we jump in, let's quickly review what dominant chords are. Dominant chords are triads or seventh chords built on the perfect fifth of whatever key we're in. So if we're in the key of A, the dominant would be E or E7. If we're in the key of C, the dominant would be G or G7. Or if we're in the key of B flat, the dominant would be F or F7. Dominant chords create a strong sense of tension that resolves nicely to a tonic. Now, secondary dominants are chords from outside the current key that lead to a new temporary key within a song. Inserting them into a chord progression can bring a sense of surprise, excitement, and anticipation to the music. Let's take a simple example by playing a 2-5-1 in C major. Our primary dominant chord would be G7, which resolves back to the tonic, C. But what if we want to introduce a secondary dominant? In this case, let's use the dominant chord of the dominant. So the dominant chord of G7 would be D7. By adding this D7 chord before the G7, we create a secondary dominant progression that sounds like this. All right, let's do another example, but with a longer progression. What I'm going to do here is go a little overboard and insert secondary dominants in front of each chord so it looks like this. Note again that the secondary dominant chords I'm inserting are a fifth above their target chords. Now let's see how that sounds. You can hear and feel how much momentum and flavor these secondary dominants we put in add to the original progression. In a way, I like to think of a secondary dominant as kind of an entourage that sometimes rolls with a celebrity. Just the mere presence of one draws more attention to whatever chord it's heading to, making any target chord feel more important and stronger than it otherwise would by itself. If you're finding this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more music theory tips, tutorials, and inspiration for piano, guitar, bass, and composition. Now that we understand the concept, let's find some applications of secondary dominants in a well-known song. Let's take Stevie Wonder's song, My Cherie Amour. Soon after he starts singing, he uses a secondary dominant to prepare our ears for a change from D flat to B, and then comes back to the original key by leading the transition with another dominant. In the next section, he incorporates two secondary dominants. The first one is actually a tritone substitute for F7 going to B flat 7, and then the B flat 7 itself is a secondary dominant leading to E flat minor 7. Now that you're familiar with secondary dominant chords, here are a couple of tips to keep in mind when using them in your music. First, I would use them sparingly. Secondary dominants are powerful tools, but too many can lead to harmonic overload. Use them strategically to give your song a bit of a lift in those important moments you want highlighted. Next, don't forget to experiment with different inversions and voicings. Secondary dominants don't have to be played in root position. Explore different chord voicings to find the ones that suit your musical context best. I've found that first and second inversions of a secondary dominant will bring a different type of flavor to your chord progressions. Secondary dominants can be used in any musical style to add excitement and variety to your compositions, from classical to pop, country to gospel, and R&B to jazz. Just pay close attention to what context you add them in. If you listen closely enough when you play through a song, it'll tell you when it's a little too much and when it's just right. Don't be afraid to explore and have fun with secondary dominants. You won't know what will work out until you try them out, so get at it. You can practice applying them right now by taking a song that you already know and adding them in. Try inserting one secondary dominant at a time, though, to get the hang of it and to see if it actually feels and sounds appropriate for the context of the song you are playing. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.